A black teenager walked into an upscale mall in his hoodie and jeans. Security immediately grabbed him and forced him out the door. What they didn't know? He was there to receive a national award in front of hundreds of people, and they just threw out the guest of honor. Have you ever been judged before someone even bothered to ask your name? Before they knew anything about you? That's what happened to 17-year-old Jaden Brooks at the Galleria Mall in Houston, Texas. He walked in looking like any other teenager. Hoodie, backpack, sneakers. And within 2 minutes, security had him by the arm, dragging him toward the exit. They didn't ask questions. They didn't give him a chance to explain. They just saw a young black kid and assumed he didn't belong. But what happened 30 minutes later, when they realized who he actually was, became one of the most talked about moments in Houston that year. This is a true story, and it's powerful. Jaden Brooks grew up in 3rd Ward, one of Houston's historically black neighborhoods. Not the fancy part of Houston you see in magazines, the real Houston, where corner stores outnumber grocery stores, where public schools are underfunded, where opportunities feel like they're always just out of reach. His mom, Angela, worked as a nurse at Ben Taub Hospital, night shifts mostly. 12-hour stretches, taking care of patients, coming home exhausted, sleeping a few hours, then getting up to make sure Jaden got to school on time. His dad wasn't around, left when Jaden was 3, just disappeared one day and never came back. So it was just Jaden and his mom. They didn't have much, but they had each other. Jaden was smart, really smart. The kind of kid who understood concepts the first time, who finished his homework on the bus ride home, who read books for fun instead of because he had to. His teachers noticed early on, they pushed him toward advanced classes, honors programs, college prep. But being smart in an underfunded school only got you so far. Jaden needed more. He needed resources, opportunities, connections. When he was 14, he discovered coding. One of his teachers, Mr. Chen, ran an after-school computer club. Most kids didn't care about it. They'd rather be playing basketball or hanging out. But Jaden was fascinated. He'd stay after school for hours, learning Python, JavaScript, building simple programs, making mistakes, figuring it out. Mr. Chen saw the potential. You're good at this, Jaden, like really good. You should enter some competitions. Jaden didn't even know coding competitions existed, but Mr. Chen showed him. There were regional competitions, national competitions, hackathons, places where kids like him could compete against kids from fancy private schools and actually win based on skill alone. So Jaden started competing. His first competition, he came in 8th place. Not bad for a first try. His second competition, he came in 3rd. By his 3rd competition, he won, and he kept winning. By the time Jaden was 17, he'd won 6 regional coding competitions. He'd placed in the top 10 at 2 national competitions. He'd built an app that helped low-income students find scholarship opportunities. He'd created an algorithm that matched community resources with people who needed them. And then came the big one, the National Youth Innovation Award. It was one of the most prestigious awards a high school student could receive, given annually to 10 students across the entire country who'd made significant contributions in STEM fields. Past winners had gone on to MIT, Stanford, Caltech. Some had started successful companies. Some were now working at Google, NASA, SpaceX. When Jaden got the email that he was a finalist, he thought it was spam. He almost deleted it, but something made him click on it. And when he realized it was real, he ran to his mom's room, woke her up from her post-night shift sleep, and showed her. Angela cried, right there in her scrubs, exhausted from work. She just cried and hugged her son. "I'm so proud of you, baby," she said. "So proud." 2 weeks later, Jaden got another email. He'd won. He was one of the 10 recipients of the National Youth Innovation Award. The ceremony was going to be held in Houston at the Galleria Mall. There'd be a presentation in the main atrium. Local officials would be there, tech industry leaders, press. The mayor was even supposed to make an appearance. Jaden couldn't believe it. Him, a kid from 3rd Ward, getting a national award. His mom couldn't take time off work to go with him. She felt terrible about it, but they needed the money, and the hospital was short-staffed. Jaden told her it was fine. He was 17. He could handle it. "Just be careful," Angela said, "and wear something nice." Jaden looked at his closet. He didn't really have nice clothes. He had school clothes, hoodies, jeans, sneakers, one pair of dress pants that didn't fit right, and a button-up shirt he'd worn to his grandmother's funeral 2 years ago. He settled on his cleanest jeans, a plain black hoodie, and his best sneakers. He looked like a normal teenager, which he was. The ceremony was scheduled for 3 p.m. on a Saturday. Jaden took the bus to the Galleria. It was one of the biggest, fanciest malls in Houston. High-end stores, designer brands, places Jaden had never shopped in, places he'd never even been inside. He arrived at 2:30 p.m., early. He wanted to make sure he knew where to go. The email said to report to the event coordinator at the main atrium entrance. Jaden walked through the main entrance of the mall. It was crowded, families shopping, teenagers hanging out. Lots of noise and activity. He was looking at his phone, checking the map of the mall, trying to figure out which way the main atrium was when he felt a hand on his shoulder. "Hey." Jaden looked up. It was a security guard. White guy, maybe in his 40s, with a crew cut and a serious expression. "Hey," Jaden said. I'm just... "What are you doing here?" the guard interrupted. "I'm looking for the main atrium. There's an event." "Are you here to shop?" Jaden was confused. "No, I'm here for an award ceremony. I need to find..." "Award ceremony," the guard repeated, his tone dripping with skepticism. "Right. What's in the backpack?" "My backpack? Just my laptop and some..." "I need you to come with me." The guard's hand tightened on Jaden's shoulder. Not aggressive, but firm, controlling. "Wait, what? Why?" Jaden said. "We've had reports of theft in this area. I need to check your bag." "Reports of theft? I just got here 2 minutes ago." "Sir, I need you to cooperate." "Sir?" The guard was calling 17-year-old Jaden "sir" in that tone cops use when they're about to arrest you, that fake, polite tone that's actually a threat. Jaden felt his heart racing. He'd been in situations like this before, not often, but enough to know how they worked. Enough to know that arguing would only make it worse. "Okay," Jaden said quietly. "But I'm supposed to be at the atrium at 2:45. I'm receiving an award. Can we make this quick?" The guard smirked, like he didn't believe a single word. "Sure, kid. Let's go." He steered Jaden toward the exit, not toward a security office, toward the exit. "Wait, where are we going?" Jaden asked. "You need to leave." "Leave? But I didn't do anything. I just got here." "We have the right to refuse service to anyone, and I'm asking you to leave." They were at the main entrance now. People were staring. A mother pulled her child closer. A group of teenage girls whispered and pointed. Jaden felt humiliation burning in his chest. He wanted to yell, to explain, to make this guard understand that he wasn't some random kid causing trouble, that he was here for a legitimate reason, that he'd earned the right to be here. But he also knew that yelling at a security guard while black usually ended badly. "Can I at least call someone?" Jaden asked. "The event coordinator. They're expecting me." "You can call whoever you want from outside," the guard said, pushing him gently but firmly toward the door. Another security guard had joined them. A younger guy, Hispanic, looking uncomfortable but not saying anything. Jaden was now outside the mall. The doors closed behind him. He stood there on the sidewalk, humiliated, confused, angry. He pulled out his phone, found the email from the event coordinator, called the number listed. It went to voicemail. He tried again. Voicemail. It was 2:40 p.m. The ceremony started in 20 minutes. He was supposed to be inside already. Jaden tried the doors again. The first security guard was standing right there, arms crossed. "I told you need to leave." But I'm supposed to be here for the National Youth Innovation Award ceremony," Jaden said, trying to keep his voice steady. "I'm one of the award recipients. My name is Jaden Brooks. You can check with..." "Kid, I don't know what story you're trying to sell, but I'm not buying it. Now please leave before I call the police." Jaden felt panic rising. This couldn't be happening. He'd worked so hard. This was the biggest moment of his life. And he was being locked out because some security guard decided he looked suspicious. He tried calling the coordinator again. Still voicemail. He tried emailing. No response. He walked around to another entrance on the other side of the mall. Maybe he could get in there, explain the situation to a different guard. But when he tried to enter, a female security guard stopped him. "Excuse me, we've been notified that you've been asked to leave the premises. If you try to enter again, we'll have to involve the police." They'd radioed ahead. They'd literally put out an alert about him, like he was dangerous. Jaden stood outside, watching through the glass doors as people walked freely in and out of the mall. He could see the decorations for the ceremony being set up in the distance. Banners, a stage, rows of chairs, his ceremony that he couldn't get to. He sat down on a bench outside, head in his hands. He wanted to cry, he wanted to scream. But mostly he just felt defeated. At 2:55 p.m., his phone rang. Unknown number. "Hello? Is this Jaden Brooks?" A woman's voice, professional, slightly frantic. "Yes, this is Jaden." "This is Margaret Chen, the event coordinator for the National Youth Innovation Awards. Where are you? The ceremony starts in 5 minutes, and you're supposed to be here for sound check." Jaden took a deep breath. "I'm outside the mall. Security won't let me in." There was a pause. "What?" "Security stopped me when I tried to come in. They said I had to leave. They threatened to call the police if I tried to enter again. I've been calling you for the past 15 minutes. Oh my God. Oh my God. Stay right where you are. I'm coming to get you right now. Which entrance are you at?" "The main entrance on Westheimer. I'll be there in 2 minutes. Don't move." The call ended. Jaden sat there, waiting. People walked past him. Some glanced at him with suspicion. A young black kid sitting alone outside a fancy mall. and they probably thought he'd been kicked out for stealing or causing trouble. They had no idea he was supposed to be the guest of honor inside. 2 minutes later, a black woman in her 50s, wearing a professional pantsuit and carrying a clipboard, came rushing out of the mall. She looked around frantically until she spotted Jayden. Jayden? Yes, ma'am. Oh, thank God. Come with me right now. She grabbed his hand like he was a small child and marched him toward the entrance. The same security guard who'd kicked him out was standing there. Ma'am, that individual has been asked to leave. Margaret wheeled on him. This individual is Jayden Brooks. He is one of 10 National Award recipients being honored here today. He is the guest of honor, and you threw him out. The guard's face changed, color drained, eyes widened. I didn't know. He didn't say. He told you he was here for an award ceremony. He told you his name. He tried to explain, and you threw him out anyway. Her voice was shaking with anger. Do you understand what you just did? Do you have any idea? A crowd was forming. Other security guards, mall management, people with clipboards and headsets. The guard stammered. He looked like what? Margaret demanded. Say it. What did he look like that made you assume he didn't belong here? The guard said nothing, but everyone knew the answer. Margaret turned to a man in a suit who'd just arrived. Are you the mall manager? Yes, I'm David Pearson. I'm so sorry about this misunderstanding. Misunderstanding? Margaret's voice got louder. This young man was racially profiled and physically removed from your mall. He is supposed to be receiving a national award in front of the mayor, city council members, and press in 15 minutes. And your security guard decided he looked suspicious and threw him out. David Pearson looked sick. I apologize profusely. This is unacceptable. We'll conduct a full investigation. You can conduct your investigation later, Margaret snapped. Right now, I need to get Jayden inside and prepared for his ceremony, and I need your security to stay far away from him. She took Jayden's hand again and led him inside, past the security guard who'd kicked him out, past the growing crowd of onlookers, through the mall toward the main atrium. Jayden was shaking, from adrenaline, from relief, from anger. I'm so sorry, Margaret said as they walked quickly. That should never have happened to you, never. It's not your fault, Jayden said quietly. It shouldn't have happened at all. They reached the atrium. It was set up beautifully, a stage with podiums, banners with a National Youth Innovation Award logo, rows of seats filling up with people, news cameras, the mayor talking to someone near the stage. Margaret rushed Jayden backstage. 9 other teenagers were there, the other award recipients. They were all dressed nicely, button-up shirts, dresses, professional clothes. They looked nervous but excited. They were all white or Asian. Jayden was the only black kid. Is everything okay? One of the girls asked Margaret. We thought maybe he wasn't coming. Everything's fine now, Margaret said tightly. Just a security issue that's been resolved. The ceremony started at 3:10 p.m., 10 minutes late because of what happened with Jayden, but they made it work. The mayor gave opening remarks. Then Margaret took the stage to introduce the awards and the recipients. These 10 young people represent the best of our nation's youth, she said into the microphone. They have shown exceptional skill, creativity, and dedication in the fields of science, technology, engineering, and mathematics. They are our future innovators, our future leaders, and we are honored to celebrate them today. One by one, the recipients were called to the stage. Each one received their award, posed for photos, gave a brief speech. When it was Jayden's turn, Margaret's voice changed slightly. There was an edge to it, an intentionality. Our next recipient is Jayden Brooks from Yates High School here in Houston. Jayden has won 6 regional coding competitions and created an innovative app that connects low-income students with scholarship opportunities. His algorithm has helped over 10,000 students across Texas find resources they wouldn't have known about otherwise. The audience applauded. Jayden walked onto the stage. He was still wearing his hoodie and jeans, still looked like a regular teenager. But now he was standing in front of hundreds of people receiving a national award. Margaret handed him the award, a beautiful glass trophy. She leaned in and whispered, "You belong here. Don't ever forget that." Jayden took the microphone. He'd prepared a speech, something about perseverance and opportunity and thanking his mom and his teachers. But standing there, looking out at the crowd, he decided to say something different. "Thank you for this honor," he began. His voice was shaky at first, then grew stronger. "I'm grateful to be here, but I want to be honest about something. I almost wasn't here. When I arrived at this mall today, security stopped me. They didn't ask my name. They didn't ask why I was here. They looked at me and decided I didn't belong, and they physically removed me from the building." There were gasps in the audience, murmuring. Margaret was nodding behind him, encouraging him to continue. "I'm standing here in a hoodie and jeans because this is what I own. This is what I wear. I'm a kid from Third Ward. I don't have a closet full of expensive clothes, but I have something else. I have skills. I have work ethic. I have achievements. And those things should matter more than how I look. The audience was silent now, completely focused on him. I'm grateful for this award, but I also want to use this moment to say something important. How many other kids like me get stopped? Get questioned? Get kicked out? Get told they don't belong before anyone bothers to ask their name? How many future scientists and engineers and innovators are being overlooked because someone made an assumption based on their appearance? Jaden held up the trophy. This award is an honor, but it shouldn't take a national award for people to treat me with respect. It shouldn't take a fancy trophy for security to believe I have a right to be in a public space. Every kid deserves that, not just the ones with awards. He paused, then said, "So thank you for this recognition. I'll use it to keep working, keep creating, keep trying to make things better. But I also hope we can work on making a world where kids like me don't have to prove our worth before we're treated with basic dignity." And the audience erupted. Not polite applause, standing ovation. People were cheering, some were crying. The mayor was clapping so hard his hands had to hurt. Jaden walked off stage. The other award recipients hugged him, told him that was the bravest speech they'd ever heard. After the ceremony, reporters swarmed Jaden. They wanted to know more about what happened, about his work, about his experience. The mall manager approached him looking miserable. "Mr. Brooks, I want to personally apologize." "It's not me you need to apologize to," Jaden interrupted. "It's every other kid who looks like me who gets treated the same way but doesn't have a national award to make people listen." The security guard who'd kicked him out was nowhere to be seen. Jaden heard later that he'd been suspended pending investigation. Eventually, he was fired. The story went viral. National news covered it. Social media exploded. Teen kicked out of mall. Minutes before receiving national award was trending for days. The Galleria Mall issued a public apology. They announced mandatory bias training for all security staff. They created new protocols for how security interacts with young people, especially young people of color. But Jaden didn't want just apologies. He wanted change. He started speaking at schools, at community centers, at tech conferences. He talked about his experience, about systemic bias, about how talent exists everywhere but opportunity doesn't. His scholarship app got more attention. Tech companies reached out, wanting to partner with him. Investors wanted to fund expansion. Within 6 months, the app had helped over 50,000 students find opportunities. Jaden got accepted to MIT, full scholarship. When he left Houston for Boston, his mom threw him a party. The whole neighborhood showed up. Mr. Chen gave a speech about how proud he was. Kids from the computer club made him a poster. At MIT, Jaden thrived. He continued developing apps focused on equity and access. He interned at major tech companies. He gave a TEDx talk about bias in public spaces that got millions of views. But he never forgot that day at the Galleria. He kept the trophy in his dorm room, not as a celebration, as a reminder. A reminder that achievement shouldn't be a prerequisite for respect. That every person deserves dignity regardless of awards or accomplishments. That the real work isn't just succeeding personally, but changing the systems that make it harder for people who look like you to succeed. 4 years later, when Jaden graduated from MIT with degrees in computer science and social justice, he gave the student speech at graduation. He talked about that day at the mall, about being judged before anyone knew his name, about almost missing the biggest moment of his teenage life because someone made an assumption. "We don't just need more diverse people succeeding in tech," he told the graduating class. "We need to change the systems that make it harder for diverse people to even get in the door. We need to question our assumptions. We need to look at people and see their potential, not our prejudice." The speech got another standing ovation, and this time, Jaden was wearing a cap and gown. But he remembered the hoodie and jeans. He remembered that kid sitting on a bench outside a mall feeling defeated. That kid had come so far. But he also hadn't changed who he was. He was still Jaden from Third Ward, still the kid who loved coding and helped his community, still someone who understood what it felt like to be invisible, and he was determined to make sure fewer kids had to feel that way. Subscribe if this story resonated with you.